Apparently, I can't use the word cook anymore when it comes to describing a great pro wrestling show. Otherwise, AEW elitists and AEW personnel might get angry at us wrestling fans. I'm sorry that Tony Khan goes into the kitchen and burns the motherfucker down to the ground, man, in the worst way possible. Monday Night Raw. Not as good as last week. They had a very tall order against them tonight. But man, the stories going into Money in the Bank, man, we got a lot to look forward to, man, as Money in the Bank is taking shape. I can't wait. I can't wait, man. Liv Morgan bought the Judgment Day of PlayStation 5 with WWE 2K24 Chicken McNuggets. Tell me they ain't listening to the show, man. Oh, man, JD McChicken over there. Give me a break. And she got them the tag team titles. We got Seth Rollins making a gentleman's agreement with Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre says he's going to win Money in the Bank. Bo Dallas. Oh, my goodness. Tremendous sit down with Uncle Howdy, and that is just half of what happened tonight, man. Still more than AEW's viewership on Wednesday night. We're going to talk about it. Not AEW, though. Nobody gives a shit. We're going to talk about Raw tonight, man. We're going to the beer garden. It's beautiful here on the East Coast. Love it. I got my cold beverage. And hopefully you guys got yours as well. Fuck cancel culture. And when I get to the OTS beer garden, I want to know on this Monday night, what the fuck are you guys drinking? See you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw post show for June 24th, 2024. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday night, wherever you may be. Monday Night Raw tonight, man. Another solid show from WWE. Not as good as last week. I will say that right now, up front and center. Not as good as last week, as I felt myself a little bored, honestly, by some aspects of this show. But they did a very good job again in this build towards Money in the Bank, getting us to Money in the Bank. We had Money in the Bank qualifiers tonight. We had more Judgment Day hijinks and antics with Liv Morgan still chasing Dominic Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio playing hard to get. And Liv Morgan weaseling her way into the Judgment Day. With Damian Priest basically saying tonight for second week in a row, and if you guys watched me last week, I called it out then, and I'm going to call it out again tonight. Damian Priest with a very huge Easter egg. Judgment Day needs him more than he needs the Judgment Day. He doesn't need the Judgment Day, apparently. We'll see how that comes into effect when he defends the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank. But Monday Night Raw was another solid show tonight. Storylines progressed. And we got one tremendous Uncle Howdy sit down with Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda, in week 2 of the Wyatt family, or the Wyatt Six, back on WWE television. 4 minutes for a tremendous sit down with Bo Dallas, explaining and going over the most important question in all of pro wrestling. Why? Why are they here? Why are they on Monday night? What are they doing? That's all I needed to see. Absolutely brilliant sit down. Tremendous sit down with Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy, going over the ever important question of why they are here and why the Wyatt Six has formed. What they'll be doing, I have no idea. But they did make their presence known again against Chad Gable, who qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match tonight. Money in the Bank qualifiers tonight, up and down the show. Chad Gable advanced, and Lyra Valkyria advanced for the ladies. And Monday Night Raw was a very good show from Indianapolis, Indiana. Michael Cole doing commentary at the start of the show with The Miz, who, in my honest opinion, did not do a bad job. And I can absolutely see Mr. Mike Mizanin transfer his WWE career from in-ring to color commentator at some point when he wants to hang up the boots. I thought he did a very good job. In fact, I actually thought he sounded pretty decent, more so than Pat McAfee on any given week. Michael Cole, though, did most of the show by himself because of the Judgment Day, getting a tag team title match, R-Truth making a deal with Liv Morgan, and then Uncle Howdy and the rest of the Wyatt Six, or I guess Nikki Cross just tonight. The rest of them weren't on screen. Nikki Cross handed Michael Cole a tremendous, or not tremendous, it was a tremendous segment, a box with a VHS tape with a tremendous sit-down between Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas. And that's where I will start because that was the biggest takeaway from the show tonight. The biggest question coming into tonight was how was WWE going to follow up the huge debut and presentation of the Wyatt Six last week on Monday Night Raw, where they left half of the production team in shambles and destroyed Gorilla at the end of Raw last week. The only notable talent that was laid amongst the bodies of the dead last week was Chad Gable. People on social media, the sleuths on social media, they obviously failed Dick Tracy Academy. They failed Colombo University, more like Clown U from these geeks on social media. Oh, Triple H was there. Oh, I thought I saw Braun Strowman. Oh, I thought I saw Carmelo Hayes, who's a SmackDown guy, by the way. I don't know what the fuck he would be doing on Monday Night Raw, but his name was mentioned. All these names that we saw last week, and Chad Gable was the only one. And the reason why Chad Gable was shown on television was because Chad Gable is going to be a part of whatever the lingering story is with the Wyatt Six. He might not be directly involved with the Wyatt Six, but the plan right now for the Wyatt Six is for them to be thrown into the show and have an integral part in several storylines. I'm envisioning something along the lines of a greater scale of what the House of Black does on AEW television. Now, they're not up and down the show like the Wyatt family are planning on being, but when AEW presents the House of Black and they want to start a feud, it's usually with the House of Black misting somebody in the face with the black mist, and then something happens, whether they go and get an attitude change or they get a little bit more nastier and there's a little bit more edge. We've seen it with Sky Blue. We've seen it with Adam Copeland and a couple of other people. But I link it to that, and I think that they're going to play an integral part in several storylines on WWE television, but not directly be a part of a storyline specifically. So what they did last week was leave Chad Gable, the only notable name amongst the bodies of the dead last week, and everybody was wondering what's going on. Why is Chad Gable there? Chad Gable's buried, which we all know is not the case because he signed the new WWE deal. He had 4 segments last week. That is the opposite of buried. Then WWE takes him out of the Money in the Bank qualifier. Originally, it was Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, and Chad Gable. They replaced Chad Gable with Ilya Dragunov, and then just a couple of days ago, Adam Pearce comes out and says that Chad Gable is medically cleared. He will be on Monday Night Raw, and his place in the match is still his. So it went on as originally scheduled. So we get to tonight's show, and Chad Gable wins his Money in the Bank qualifier. Great. We'll go over what I think there. But at the end of the match, Nikki Cross comes out and crawls her way into the ring amongst the fog and the smoke and the eeriness and the spookiness of the Wyatt 6 entrance. She comes from underneath the ring, and she gets into the ring and starts crawling over to Chad Gable. As he turns around, he falls backwards into the turnbuckle, and she starts crawling over to him. He escapes, and then her attention focuses on Michael Cole, who was doing commentary by himself. She goes underneath the ring. She pulls out a cardboard box that has black tape all over it. She hands it to Michael Cole, and she disappears into the night. He opens up the box, and it's a VHS tape. Remember what those look like? I used to collect them. A whole bunch of them. I still have a bunch of them in my basement. They'll probably be worth something, hopefully, at a later time. Bunch of old WWF pay-per-views on legit VHS. The actual VHS tapes from WWE. Michael Cole gives the tape to the production team, who run it back to the truck. A few segments later, we play the tape, and it's a sit-down with Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy. And I love the way that this was presented. The biggest question coming out of last week's show was, how was WWE going to follow up the Wyatt 6 debut? A lot of the times, this gimmick doesn't play out on television, and it's a flash in the pan. And WWE did this with Bray Wyatt. It starts off hot, and then it goes nowhere. It gets stale and boring, and it goes very fast. Not to take anything away from Bray, but it didn't really maintain its interest because it was mostly theatrics and less in-ring. At some point, I've talked about this specifically on my own. I talked about this last week. I talked about it with Solomonster on Tuesday Night Titans. They need to find a medium, a happy medium, from what happens off-screen and then translate it to what happens in the ring. They did not let Bray Wyatt do that. It was mostly theatrics and spoken word and vignettes and promos. And then it never translated to the ring. And we all know that man could wrestle. They cannot make the same mistake with the Wyatt 6. I said this time and time and time again in the reports, during the rumors. They need to wrestle. At some point, the masks have to come off and they have to wrestle. I said last week, I don't want to see characters on television with no substance. I want to see some sort of humanized Wyatt 6 away from the masks. I get it that everybody loves the characters and what they stand for and what they signify. But I want to see the people underneath the masks. I want to see Bo Dallas. I want to see Nikki Cross. I want to see Eric Rowan. I want to see Joe Gacy. I want to see Dexter Lumis. I want to see their facial expressions. I want to see them in the ring wrestling as their characters, not with the fucking masks on. There has to be a happy medium. Jason and I on Tuesday attributed it to The Undertaker. A lot of people were like, man, this was the best debut in history of WWE. No, it wasn't. Man, you got some stiff competition there. We're not labeling this the greatest debut of all time in WWE. It's not. Wasn't even the best debut last week. Jacob Fatu owns that right. But WWE, a lot of people were claiming this was the modern day Undertaker debut. Man, that's some lofty expectations you're putting on the Wyatt Six. I mean, there's only one Undertaker. I get it. I get it. You guys are excited, but the similarities between what the Wyatt Six and the Undertaker do are there. You see it. But the Undertaker didn't stay dead his entire career. The Undertaker didn't stay impervious his entire career. The Undertaker shed some of that and became a humanized version of the dead man while the theatrics remained. The entrance remained, the ambiance, the character remained. But as the Undertaker grew older, he somehow got better. He was impervious to pain at one point. He was not playing that character later on in his career when he was having classic fucking matches up and down the card. That's the same exact formula that the Wyatt Six need to have. Bray Wyatt went into the ring impervious to pain. We didn't know whether it was the fucking mask. We didn't know if it was Alexa and the enchantment that she had over him. We didn't know if it was the red lighting. We didn't know if it was the lantern, the funhouse. We didn't know anything. But man, that character died 1,000 fucking deaths because how the fuck do you beat a dead character? How do you beat somebody impervious to pain? They did that character no favor. We don't need to see that this time around. We don't need to see it this time around. The one thing I specifically asked for last week was humanized characters. I want to know who Bo Dallas is playing Uncle Howdy. So what did we get today? We got Uncle Howdy sitting in the Firefly Funhouse. Not sure if you guys realize what the background was. That was the Firefly Funhouse that they were sitting amongst the rubbles of the Firefly Funhouse. Uncle Howdy sat and interviewed Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda. Uncle Howdy wearing the whole fucking getup, interviewing the man underneath the getup, Bo Dallas, who was sitting there as human. And then they basically went over everything as to why they are here, answering the question of how do you answer the critics? And don't you think that you're exploiting your brother's death by assuming his role here? Man, that was fucking great shit. Why they're here, why he's doing this in honor of his brother, what his brother meant to him, why they're here, why these individuals were chosen, what the whole process was. We'll go over exactly what was said in the interview a little bit later, but that was a tremendous sit-down. The way that it was filmed, the way that it came off, the facial expressions of Uncle Howdy smiling while he was asking these questions, sinister smile. And then you got Taylor Rotunda, Bo Dallas, who poured every ounce of fucking emotion that he had into this promo. Sat there, basically trembling with emotion over talking about his brother's death and why he's donning the mask and why he's doing this. Something that his brother was so great at, what his brother meant to him. The closeness that they had. How all he wanted in his career was to stand next to Bray and do this thing together and run the world together. And then they had it all fall apart with his passing. As he explained, nobody will ever understand the pain that I feel without him here. We had everything we wanted. And then it was all gone. We'll go over exactly what he said. Tremendous sit down. Great shit. They nailed the fucking grand slam with the presentation for the second week in a row with the Wyatt Six. Now, we didn't see the rest of the Wyatt Six, which I don't really mind. If you want to keep them special, they don't need to be on TV all donning the masks every single fucking week. But Bo, I mean, he's the guy that we need the explanation from. Nikki Cross is going to be a great character just doing what she's got to do in this cryptic and stoic manner, handing the box to Michael Cole. But Bo is the one that we need to hear from because he is the leader of the group. The explanation should come from him. The why should come from him. Why he chose these people should come from him. But no matter how good these segments are, like I said last week, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll probably say it again next week, at some point, we're going to need to get these guys in a feud. We're going to get them in the ring, and we're going to need to see them wrestle. Because this is great for now. But the end-all, be-all is what they do when the bell rings and how they translate that story from what we saw tonight to in the ring. Tremendous segment. Drew McIntyre wants the Money in the Bank. He vows to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. He got his match. Next week, it'll be a banger. Sheamus, McIntyre, and Dragunov. Triple threat match, qualifying match for the Money in the Bank ladder match in Toronto. And we got a mega main event announced for Money in the Bank. It will be Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens against the newly formed Bloodline with Jacob Fatu making his first WWE in-ring appearance. That's worth the price of the PLE alone. I thought tonight's Monday Night Raw was a very solid show. Not as good as last week, but still forwarded the stories, captivated you with the stories, new tag team champions, built well to Money in the Bank, and I thought it was a very good show from top to bottom. We're going to get into the rest of the show tonight, guys. I want to thank you all for being here. We got 3,300 in here on a Monday night. Thank you guys very much. Thank you guys for being here, man. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Make sure you guys go check out all the other content on the channel. Plenty of it. Everything you need is on the homepage. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show, as always, with our favorite cold beverages. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Not sure if you guys know, man, we got some new shirts, new merchandise now available on bonfire.com. Link is down in the description below. What the fuck are you guys drinking, man? Brand new merch now available on Bonfire. This is the first What the fuck are you guys drinking t-shirts. Hopefully we can come out with new designs more often in the future, man. Love this design by my guy Salrex. He did this on a whim. And this is available on bonfire.com. There is no campaign, guys, for this. You buy, they print, they ship. You guys get it on demand. If you guys want to rep, if you guys want to support the podcast, man, this is the new merch right now available on bonfire.com. Go and get yours today. Link is in the description of this very video. Does it come in green? I'm not sure, Yuri. But there are several colors, man. Several colors for the summer as well. I always choose wisely. Comes in premium t-shirt designs, tank tops for the summer for you fellas, and ladies as well have a design. I feel like I have to mention this for the third time. Doc's music is not going anywhere. Truly don't give a shit about what some fucking half-witted loser on social media says in regards to anything, man. Seriously, Doc's music ain't going nowhere. Red Skies will be played accordingly with the shows. It's a thing on the podcast. And I don't give a shit what some ex-fucking Twitch employee has to say about anything, man. There's no physical evidence. There's zero evidence. Yet cancel culture is out in full force. Zero evidence. It's guilty until proven innocent out here, man. Fuck that. Ridiculous. Whole fucking situation is ridiculous. Don't know how anybody's talking about it. Everybody's already claiming he's something that we don't even know is true. Tonight's show sponsored by Magic Mind. I love me some Magic Mind, man. How do I stay awake for these shows? You can't see it because it's blending into the green screen, but this little bottle right here, man, Magic Mind, gets me going no matter what, man. For those AEW shows on Wednesday, man, you know I'm on the Magic Mind. Tonight, they're sponsoring the show. We'll go over Magic Mind a little bit later on in the show. Tonight, sponsored by my great friends over at Magic Mind. Tonight on the Monday Night Raw Post. Let's get into Monday Night Raw, guys. We start at the top. Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre starts the show off. Comes out to no music. Right up my wheelhouse, man. When a heel comes out to no music and all you hear are the sounds of boos. Love it. Show opened up with Drew McIntyre making his way to the ring. Drew McIntyre showed footage of his assault on CM Punk from SmackDown before claiming that he was done with him. The beatdown on CM Punk from Friday night was tremendous. Tremendous stuff. And it left it open to interpretation. What did Drew McIntyre physically do to CM Punk? Did he knock on the door asking to be let in, or was he banging CM Punk's skull against the garage door before we saw him laying on the ground? I don't know. But I thought it was great. The only thing that would have made it better was if AJ Lee was sitting in the front row and McIntyre dragged his dead carcass over right in front of his wife and dropped his bleeding corpse right in front of AJ Lee. That would have been something. That would have been fantastic. But we didn't see that, and we didn't see her. So Drew looked into the camera to tell Punk that he hoped he was uncomfortable and revealed that he had Punk's bracelet with Larry and AJ's name on it. Apparently, this bracelet was made by a fan given to Punk. He said that this was a priceless item to Punk. It's junk, but he says it was priceless to Punk because it had the names of his wife and his stupid dog on it. Drew then says he would go on to win Money in the Bank and cash in on the champion in the same night in spite of CM Punk. This was all we needed to hear, really. So McIntyre quit last week. He showed up in Chicago on Friday, shows up on Monday to gloat about what he did to CM Punk, and then he claims that he's going to win Money in the Bank and win the World Heavyweight Championship now that he put Punk out of commission. Great. If you don't think Punk is going to be in Toronto, you're a fool. But what happened on Friday absolutely needed to happen. I mean, it booked itself. Punk showed up in Scotland at Clash of the Castle to ruin McIntyre's world title match in front of his family and in his home country. You didn't think McIntyre was going to show up on SmackDown when the show was advertised legitimately in CM Punk's backyard? It wrote itself. Friday, I said, this is exactly why all the geeks got upset for no reason, crying that McIntyre should have won. Friday's attack was the very reason why McIntyre did not win the World Heavyweight Championship. Spoiler, guys, it's not about Drew McIntyre and him winning the World Championship. It's about CM Punk. I mean, you'd know that if you watched the fucking show. This is going to be fantastic. It's already the feud of the year. It's not even match one yet. Match one will be at SummerSlam. Match 2 will be Bash in Berlin. Match 3 will be at Bad Blood in Atlanta, October 5th, Hell in a Cell. Book it. Love it. Simple and effective follow-up with Drew McIntyre in the open. Now, does he win Money in the Bank? No. Everybody's saying, oh, well, he should win Money in the Bank. No, he's not winning Money in the Bank. Now, McIntyre may be in there, but he's not winning Money in the Bank. Backstage, Kathy Kelly waited outside Chad Gable's locker room trying to get information from him that explained what happened last week. He did not want to mention anything about last week, and he wants nothing to do with the Wyatt Six. Backstage, Jackie Rudman interviewed Ludwig Kaiser about his upcoming match with Braun Breaker. Kaiser put over how tough Braun Breaker was, but claimed that he would prove that Breaker wasn't a Ludwig Kaiser. Now, last week, the beatdown on both Sheamus and Kaiser were tremendous. The aerial shot that we all saw last week was the only thing people were talking about. I thought the match with Sheamus was very good up until the minor misstep at the on the top turnbuckle with the Frankensteiner spot, but I thought what they did post-match was tremendous stuff. So we go from that to Kaiser and Braun Breaker one-on-one. Braun Breaker wrestled Sheamus last week. This week he wrestles Ludwig Kaiser. So Braun Breaker got an entrance, and Kaiser did not. Bell rings, and they go one-on-one here. They lock up, jockeying for position. And Breaker laid Kaiser down with his strength, shoved him down. Kaiser started to play a little dirty. He tried to be a little bit more strategic because he knew he wasn't going to beat Braun Breaker with the power game. So, despite all this, Braun Breaker still overpowered Ludwig Kaiser. So, Breaker, he soared in the sky with a flying lariat, sending Kaiser toppling over the commentary table, jumping from the apron. We go into a commercial break, and Kaiser is on the defensive. So, we come back from break. Kaiser is in control all of a sudden. Breaker is using his speed. He's using his agility, lariats. He chased Kaiser around. He did the Frankensteiner spot. This time he connected it and nailed it perfectly. So Kaiser lured Breaker on the outside, and he lured him into the steel steps, and Braun Breaker went crashing into the steel steps. He attempted the long-distance running knee, only for Sheamus to come out of nowhere and charge at Kaiser, ending the match in disqualification. So last week, it was Sheamus and Braun Breaker, with Kaiser interrupting Braun Breaker's match. That was for the number one contendership. If Breaker won, he got a match against Sami Zayn. If Sheamus won, he'd get the number one contender against Sami Zayn. So Ludwig Kaiser, who was feuding with Sheamus, got involved and said, fuck this, to both guys. So this week, it was Kaiser and Braun Breaker, and Sheamus interjects and causes neither guy to get one over the other. So post-match, Braun laid out Sheamus and Kaiser with spears, and he screamed, and that's the way the segment came to a close. Now, the one thing that I noticed here was that the crowd in Indianapolis is definitely pro Braun Breaker. And this is just not Indianapolis. I'm starting to know and see more and more every single city we go into on Monday night. We're hearing a little bit more dog barks. They're getting a little bit more louder. People are starting to jump up and get really amped up when Braun Breaker's out there. His offense is very explosive. We're starting to see a little bit. He's not a babyface, but we're getting more and more babyface reaction when Braun Breaker's out there, man. And it's all organic. People are starting to understand. People are starting to get it. People are starting to see the vision that is Braun Breaker. And they've handled him coming up from NXT perfectly. Hasn't been overexposed, playing to his strengths, showcasing what he's great at in the ring without doing too much and saving those big spots for pay-per-view or PLE. They're doing it right. And people are starting to take to it. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Love it. Now, the thing is, I said this last week, and we'll get to it when we get to it in the show. I'm going to tell you guys right now, before we get to the segment that made the match official, it is way too early for Braun Breaker to win the Intercontinental Championship. But in the case they do put it on Braun Breaker, I'm not going to have a problem with it. I'm not. The guy's more than ready for whatever the fuck WWE throws at him. Now, how long can Sami Zayn hold on to the championship before we start getting bored of Sami Zayn? Not that I am, but Braun Breaker's riding a hot streak right now, and I don't see WWE beating him this early against Sami Zayn. You may think that, oh, Braun Breaker could take a loss, he'll be fine. But a loss like that, that's a little bit more damaging to someone like Braun Breaker than it would be to someone like a Gunther. We can't do that. I would not belt him yet. In fact, I'm going to go over what Jason and I discussed on Tuesday, as I think this is the best idea. So we'll save it for a little bit later on in the show. But what I thought here of Kaiser and Breaker, solid match. Breaker looks great. The crowd reaction is getting louder and louder and louder, which is fucking great because it's all real, it's all genuine, it's all organic. And Sheamus interjects here. Now, unfortunately, according to WrestleVotes, in a post on X, Kaiser suffered an injury in this match. And WrestleVotes tweeted out at 9:01 p.m. during Raw, unfortunately, I'm hearing Ludwig Kaiser suffered an injury tonight on Raw during his match with Braun Breaker. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that entails. But hopefully we get some clarification on Ludwig Kaiser and his injury, because WWE can ill afford another injury. And I know they're loaded in the mid-card. I get it. But it would suck for someone like Kaiser because he's just getting his feet wet on his own in the division away from Gunther. And for him to be injured seriously would be a huge blow to him. So hopefully it's not serious at all. Moving on. Judgment Day. Backstage, we go into the Judgment Day locker room. And the Judgment Day is J.D. McFish, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Carlito. So they're all in the clubhouse, and they're playing WWE 2K24 on a PlayStation 5. Damian Priest walks in, and Dominic said the video game was a gift from Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan got them all gifts. Apparently, she got Judgment Day a PlayStation 5. She got them WWE 2K24, a couple of controllers. She got them McNuggets. They ain't listening to the fucking show, huh? They got Judgment Day, JD McNuggets. And Dominic apparently got a text from Liv Morgan, and she sent him something that could not be shown on television via text. What is it? I don't know. But it was for Dominic's eyes only, but he showed the rest of the group. So Carlito said she helped him win his match last week. She can't be all that bad. Priest X Dom, when the distractions from Liv Morgan, when are they going to end? All of a sudden, Dom gets a text. Carlito stood and looked wide-eyed at the phone, at the picture that Liv Morgan sent that we couldn't see. And he said, oh, that's cool. Yeah, no shit. Priest and McDonough looked very impressed at the photo as well. I'm sure they did. Priest said if he was in Dom's shoes, he'd find a way to end things with Liv Morgan tonight. Just my opinion. Dominic left. He had business to attend to. Priest looks at the rest of the guys. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are having fucking fun in here. But so is Braun Strowman, who's had his way with the Judgment Day in recent weeks. Damian Priest says Braun Strowman should have already been handled. But by all means, guys, enjoy your video games. Priest said this to the rest of them as Balor looked at Priest and said, you're right, big man. They need to focus on taking care of Strowman once and for all. Carlito and JD McCafe agreed, but then instantly went back to playing video games. They were not taking any of this seriously whatsoever. I like it. I like this Liv Morgan Dominic storyline. I'm liking it more than I expected to like it. And I thought they've handled Liv Morgan brilliantly since Rhea Ripley went out with injury. Again, we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show because Liv Morgan did come out and did try to sway Dominic out there and explain what was going on. But I think the presentation of Liv Morgan has been tremendous. Braun Breaker. He was backstage and he started knocking on Adam Pearce's office door. And he was not knocking. He was basically pounding on the door. Adam Pearce comes out and told him, whoa. Calm down. Calm down. Breaker says he's sick and tired of people getting into his business. He told Adam Pearce to do something about it. Pearce told him, calm down before you have a heart attack. All of a sudden, Sami Zayn walked up to Breaker because Breaker was looking at Pearce and explained, how can I become the #1 contender for the Intercontinental Championship when everybody is getting in my business? So in walks Sami Zayn. He walked up to Breaker and looked at him and told him, you want this? You want the Intercontinental title anytime, any place. So Breaker suggested, how about we do it at Money in the Bank? Sami Zayn looked at Adam Pearce and said, Pearce, why don't you tell him that the title match he wants, he's got it? Pearce made it official. Braun Breaker told Sami Zayn he is going to get destroyed at Money in the Bank. Now, again, it will be in Canada. Sami will be a babyface. I'm sure Braun will be very heelish in Toronto. But tonight, Braun Breaker was absolutely a babyface. Both are heels, him and Kaiser, but Braun was definitely a babyface in Indianapolis. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do moving forward when they're not in Canada with Braun Breaker. Do they play into that? Do they keep him natural? Do they keep him a tweener? I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting thing to follow because, you know, that's not somebody that WWE can really contain. If the fans want to cheer him, it is no use to try and dumb down the audience. So, see, this is what the difference is between this is a great example of what the difference is between the Triple H administration and the Vince administration. If Braun Breaker was on the Vince side of things, they would have forced him to be a baby. They would have forced him to be a heel, and they would have piped in booze, and they would have tried to manipulate the audience, and they would have told you how to feel about Braun Breaker. The thing with this administration is they're not going to play into that bullshit. They're going to allow him to go out there and do what he needs to do, and they're going to allow the fans to choose. Hey, do I want to boo this guy, or do I want to cheer this guy? The guy is a natural fucking athlete. I don't think there's anything out there about Braun Breaker that you want to boo. People are excited to see him. People get excited when they see that explosive offense, when he's jumping off the fucking ropes with a Frankensteiner or doing the fucking thing, bouncing off the ropes, and they hype up that he's running 23 miles an hour. Hits somebody with a Steiner line. And he gets all animated before a fucking spear. That's not somebody you want to boo. This is the perfect example of differentiating both administrations. The difference between when Vince did it and the difference between when Triple H does it. They would have forced you to boo him. This administration will not be doing that. Pal. I do not give Braun Breaker the Intercontinental Championship. I don't. I can't see it. I cannot see it happening. After what we got at Clash, this is just one instance. After what we saw at Clash and Drew McIntyre getting screwed out of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, I can't see Triple H go into Sami Zayn's backyard. He's from Montreal, but it's still in Canada. He's going to be over as fuck. I can't see Triple H taking the IC title, taking Sami Zayn, doing the match in Canada, and having him lose. I can't see it. But what Jason and I talked about, because we talked about Gable and the Wyatt Six attack and him being potentially in the Money in the Bank. We didn't know then that he would be pulled. He was amongst the murdered last week. Gable is now in the Money in the Bank. He qualified tonight against Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. Now, the match itself is going to be fantastic. There's no doubt in my mind. It's unpredictable. There's a lot of top guys in that match. Anybody could win it. But I want to focus on Chad Gable here. Imagine, and I don't want to say that this is going to be, and they'd have to really clarify the rules. And Chad Gable kind of said something last week that doesn't really apply to what I'm about to say, because last week he said he's going to win Money in the Bank and win the World Heavyweight Championship. Two situations here I could see play out. First one, Chad Gable wins the Money in the Bank and cashes in the same night against Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker. I know people are not going to get a sixth match out of Chad Gable and Sami Zayn, as Sami says he's done and moving on. And WWE, by all accounts, have already told you that they're moving on from Chad Gable getting a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. But what if Chad Gable wins the Money in the Bank briefcase and cashes in for the Intercontinental Championship? I know you're probably saying, well, JD, it's for a shot at either World Championship. Yes, it is. But you guys got to go back to Friday night, where LA Knight had a microphone in his hand, said he would win Money in the Bank, and then cash in on Logan Paul to win the United States Championship. Now, you got to understand why WWE used this language and this verbiage on television. Are they thinking about changing the rules? Are they thinking about having the Money in the Bank briefcase be universal, meaning not just specifically for the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship? Because you got to understand, the Money in the Bank briefcase winner, they're looking at Gunther and they're looking at Cody. Gunther and Cody Rhodes are not losing, when Gunther wins it, not losing the championship for the rest of the year. So is WWE trying to fix a problem before they actually go ahead and do it? Are they trying to avoid a problem? Because from my vantage point, the champions for the next year are locked in and solid. And no matter who the Money in the Bank winner is, they ain't beating Cody and they ain't beating Gunther. So is WWE opening up to the idea of having it be more than just the World Championships, which would lead to Gable cashing in on the IC title? Because I could see that happening. Because I said before, I don't see Braun Breaker beating Sami Zayn, and I don't see Sami Zayn beating Braun Breaker clean. Do we go and do another DQ at the pay-per-view? That would be fucking lame. Or do we have Chad Gable win the briefcase, cash in, and become the Intercontinental Champion? Option two, Theory, before I get to option two, I see a lot of people saying Theory. Theory did it for the United States Championship. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't do it willingly. See, this was at a point when Triple H was trying to fix huge messes from the previous administration. He knew that when they gave Austin Theory the Money in the Bank briefcase, that him holding that briefcase was a fucking huge weight around. It was an albatross around his neck. He was not cashing in on any of the current world champions at the time. So why cash in and lose and become a fucking loser to a Seth Rollins or a Roman Reigns? Now, it didn't really make him look any better because he cashed in on the United States champion, but WWE tried to get that briefcase off of him in the worst way possible, and they didn't give a shit. It was almost like that was a reset. Hey, we got to get rid of this shit. Vince put it on Austin Theory for whatever fucking reason, and he didn't have a reason. He didn't have a reason to put it on Austin Theory. Do you remember how he won it? He wasn't even in that Money in the Bank ladder match. He came out as the last guy who wrestled 60 seconds and won the fucking match. A last-minute decision. So no matter how much it embarrassed Austin Theory, it was a creative decision made to get the fucking briefcase off of him because it was going nowhere. That's all that was done for. Now, this year, I could see them changing the rules slightly. IC title, I could see that happening. Now, what if Chad Gable cashes in for the World Heavyweight Championship? He did say last week that he's going to do something that Otis has never done before, and that's win the World Heavyweight title. I could see this happening. He wins it at SummerSlam. He cashes it in. He beats whoever for the championship, whether it's Rollins or Gunther, or Gunther wins it. He beats Gunther and gets his revenge. And then they get a rematch at Bash in Berlin, and Gunther wins it officially there. I mean, then that renders Gable a 4-week champion. It's basically WWE's modern-day version of Tuesday in Texas, when The Undertaker beat Hulk Hogan at the fucking Survivor Series in 1991, only to lose it 5 days later back to Hulk Hogan. This wouldn't be 5 days later. It would be 4 weeks later. Do we really want to see Chad Gable hold the belt for 4 weeks only to drop it to Gunther at Bash in Berlin? I mean, he would be a world champion. He would be recognized as a world champion, but I don't think Chad Gable could really withstand more embarrassment and more loss. They got to start building this guy up. Chad Gable should start winning matches. Chad Gable should start winning matches decisively. Having him cash in on the Intercontinental title will do just that, because at that point, he would then maybe align himself with the Creed brothers. I don't like option 2, but I could see option 1 playing out specifically. Now, he's in the match with, I'm assuming Drew McIntyre is going to advance, and Jey Uso is in the match. I could see that being the case as well, Jey Uso winning. But I think Jey Uso's got a bigger story ahead of him, and that's not Money in the Bank. That's a fucking civil war amongst his family taking place with the introduction of Jacob Fatu now. And Roman's going to be back any month. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they play out Money in the Bank. But my early odds-on favorite is Chad Gable. I am going with Chad Gable to win Money in the Bank this year. Lyra Valkyria. She went and qualified for the Money in the Bank ladder match for the women. Triple threat match here with Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Sane, she comes out. She took a lot of the offense for Baszler and Valkyrie before using her speed and her top rope aerial maneuvers to send both of them over the top rope. She continued to control the match after a commercial break and almost got a 3 count after a missile drop kick off the top rope. Baszler, she grappled with both women, MMA-style grapples. Valkyria and her power. Sane and her speed. She kept them at an advantage despite all of this. All 3 women are pretty evenly matched throughout the match. Kairi Sane inadvertently saved Valkyria from Baszler with an insane elbow, which Valkyria returned the favor by using her Nightwing finish for the win over Kairi Sane. And Lyra Valkyria qualifies for the Money in the Bank. And Lyra Valkyria, there was no doubt in my mind that Lyra would be advancing to the women's Money in the Bank. I mean, they highlighted Lyra and Jey Uso first and foremost out of any other talent, so you would think that they would advance here. Lyra is definitely an odds-on favorite to win this. I don't know who's going to win it for the women. I could see Lyra win it. I could see Io win it. I could see Chelsea Green win it, honestly. I could see WWE putting the briefcase around Chelsea Green. But ultimately, I'm going with Tiffany Stratton. I think it's just tailor-made for her. And I think that was the early pick from everybody as well. She is going to have a match on Friday. I'm assuming she will advance. WWE's not going to leave Tiffany Stratton out of this thing. And when Tiffany Stratton gets in there, I think she's going to be the odds-on favorite. But Lyra advances here over Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. Drew McIntyre. He's backstage with Adam Pearce. he is insisting he should automatically be added to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Adam Pearce said, no, you quit last week. Drew says he didn't really quit. Pearce says, well, all you have done is disrupt things on both shows over the last week. He said Punk impersonated a referee and screwed him over. He deserves a shot. He asks if Seth Rollins deserves a title match when he beat him at WrestleMania. Punk screwed me in Scotland wearing a fucking referee shirt. What the fuck do I gotta do to get my fair shot around here? He told Pearce to do the right thing. He said if he didn't, he'll find out what the meaning of disruption really is. So as Drew walked away, Liv Morgan walked past him, and we got the long, singular camera shot of Liv walking through the backstage area, through gorilla position, out through the curtain. Her theme music hits, and Liv Morgan is on her way out to the ring. Liv Morgan's in the ring, and she's seductively calling out Dominic Mysterio. Oh, Dominic! She said since she couldn't see him backstage or seemed to find him backstage, she headed out to the ring because she thought she would get his attention this way. She said she hoped he likes the gifts that she got him, but she hoped he likes the gifts that she sent him via mobile device even more. I'm sure he did. And then she laughed. She said she has so much more in store for him. She said Rhea Ripley never liked him the way she does. She said, Daddy Dom, will you pretty please come out here? I mean, if Liv Morgan's calling me daddy anything, man, you better fucking get to the ring. Honestly, what the fuck are we doing? She wanted him to thank her for the gifts, and she said she had another gift for him. Zelina Vega comes out, not Dominic. Zelina Vega comes out. She comes out, she says she's out there to chase down the WWE Women's Championship, not Dirty D. We'll play on words there from Zelina Vega, man. I don't think Zelina is to be fucked with, man. She's from the Bronx. You don't fuck with a woman from the Bronx, let me tell you. Liv said her title is the most important thing in her life. She said she took out Rhea Ripley for the belt and sent Becky Lynch into early retirement for it. Zelina entered the ring and said Liv seemed more focused on having fun than preparing for title defenses. Zelina said Liv schemed for her title shot while she starved for them. She challenged Liv to a title match tonight. Liv says she's in the middle of something. Please. Zelina says, I won't wait until next week. And all of a sudden, Dominic Mysterio walks out. Fans are booing him very loudly. Liv asked him if he liked the gifts. Dominic said, I got the gifts, and no, I don't like them. Sure thing, guy. Sure thing. Liv says she knows he loved the text that she sent him. All of a sudden, fans then started chanting sloppy seconds because Zelina egged them on by telling Liv Morgan that she's basically getting Rhea Ripley's sloppy seconds with Dirty D. Gotta love the play on words here. So clearly, Indianapolis took her up on the sloppy seconds chant. Zelina then told Liv she didn't have to bring her man to the ring to avoid her. Dom said, listen, I'm not her man. Still hanging on to hope, says the fucking coward virgin online who likes to type away his discrepancies about pro wrestling. That guy still has a chance against Liv Morgan, man, or a chance with Liv Morgan. Sure thing, guy. Sure thing. Dominic doesn't want her, but fucking Fat Slob 054 on social media does. Thinking he has a chance. He kept pausing due to the loud boos every time he started talking. Dom says he'd rather see anyone but Liv with the belt. Zelina says she didn't want him anywhere near her match. Liv attacked Zelina from behind. All of a sudden, Rey Mysterio ran out and pulled Liv off of Zelina because Zelina is in the LWO, led by Rey Mysterio. So Dominic shoved Ray down. As soon as he saw his deadbeat dad in the ring, couldn't wait to get his hands on him, shoved him down. Liv was in the corner smiling at Dominic Mysterio. This long, drawn-out smile, looking at him very lustfully. From my vantage point, it looked like Liv thought Dominic saved her from Mr. Deadbeat Dad over here. Dominic turned and left the ring. Liv followed behind, ran after Dom, begging for his attention. Ray checked on Zelina, and that's the way the segment came to a close. I have been very vocal about Liv Morgan and the way she has been, before this story has been used, has been portrayed, her in-ring ability not really living up to championship standards. I get it. But the way WWE has portrayed Liv Morgan here, they have found a great role that she plays incredibly well. And it's added a whole bunch of intricate and intriguing aspects to a Judgment Day stable that was basically on the outs with no real direction after WrestleMania. This is all fact. Judgment Day has a new lease on life because of Liv Morgan. I don't know what the plan was when Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan had their little planned match all ready to go for Backlash. Rhea Ripley got hurt. I don't know what the plan was. It was more than likely a one and done. I can tell you right now, it was a one and done. They do a fucking feud, get it over with, do the callback, and Rhea Ripley would retain the championship. And I'm here to tell you right now that even though the women's division on Monday Night Raw is missing Becky Lynch, Asuka, and Rhea Ripley, that's a three-headed beast you don't want to lose on any given week, especially all at the same time. Rhea Ripley's injury has made everything better as far as this storyline. Her being out has added so much to the overall story here that basically was non-existent if she was still there. I don't want to say Rhea Ripley being out is a great deal for WWE, but I'd be lying if I told you that with Rhea Ripley out, this storyline has not been any better, honestly. This is fucking great. Her being out has made the storyline legitimately better. It was almost a blessing in disguise. She will be back. I don't think the injury is serious. And when she comes back, you know, we were quick to say, hey, let's take the title off of Liv Morgan and put it right back on Rhea Ripley. I don't know if I'm saying that today. Not right away, anyway. I'm more pro-story than I am, let's get the plans back on track and put the belt right back on Rhea Ripley because that's the way it should have been. That's the way it was going to be. No, man, Liv is doing fucking great here. Yeah, we haven't seen her wrestle. Do you care? I'm more intrigued by this version of Liv Morgan with the antics backstage and flaunting herself around and throwing herself at Dominic and lusting after Dominic. I mean, she just plays it so fucking great. When she gets in the ring, it's all going to fall apart. Zelina Vega is the perfect opponent because, I mean, Zelina's got ties to Ray. Ray is Dom's father. I mean, it all just kind of comes full circle. Why would you want anything more out of Liv Morgan? And when that Liv Morgan-Rhea Ripley match happens, it's going to be fucking straight gasoline. It's going to be great. And then that will be the culmination of the fall of Judgment Day. Liv Morgan is going to be the new mommy of Judgment Day. That's what they're planning for. That's what they're setting you up for. You think Rhea Ripley's going to come back and stand for this shit? There's no way that Judgment Day is going to Liv Morgan now. Look at what she's done for them already. PlayStation 5, Chicken McNuggets. She's got Dominic fucking drooling over seductive texts, which may or may not be in good taste after what Vince McMahon has been going through. but she got them the tag team championships. She's weaseling herself into the Judgment Day, and there's no way that they're going to turn their back on her now. Look at what she's doing. She's manipulated all of them. Finn's going to get involved, and Finn and Liv are going to lead Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley's going to be out. Dominic Mysterio's going to be with Liv, and Damian Priest is going to be out. I love it. Rhea Ripley chasing the championship as a babyface to get revenge back on what the Judgment Day and Liv Morgan did to her is going to be a great story. Liv Morgan, give her flowers, man. They found the right balance to get her the right presentation on television. Before this, it was fucking garbage. Before this, I didn't give a shit about Liv Morgan. For the last 4 weeks, I can't wait to see fucking Liv Morgan. I'm having a fucking blast with this shit. It's great. Kathy Kelly. She was outside Gable's locker room. She said Pierce and medical staff were checking on him. She asked for an update. Pierce says he was shaken up, but he's medically cleared to compete tonight in his Money in the Bank qualifier. No details on what happened last week. That's his story to tell, and he's not ready to address that yet. So Liv Morgan, after this segment with Zelina and Ray, caught up to Dominic and thanked him for being her hero. So basically, she's thanking him for saving her against his deadbeat dad. Dom said, listen, I did it because my dad's a deadbeat. I didn't do it for you. She thanked him anyway. Dominic walked away, and R-Truth walked up and said, Tom and Nick Mysterio appears to be a reluctant hero. He talked about Tom and Nick. Liv says she might be able to get Dom a match next week against Ray. But tonight, she wants to get JD and Balor a shot at the tag team titles. So Truth said that McDonough has never been in the Judgment Day, and he's got a freakishly large head. And Finn Balor, he didn't really like Finn Balor all too much. Truth told Liv he's one half of the tag team champions. She asked if he could make this match happen. He said he could. Liv said, please, go talk to Adam Pearce and let's make it happen. I want to show Tom and Nick how much I care about him. Truth says he's always loved Carmella. He thought he was talking to Carmella. He thought Liv Morgan was Carmella. So he says he would get them a tag team title opportunity. So Liv, again, using her manipulation tactics against now poor innocent R-Truth. Tom and Nick Mysterio. Those lucky guys, man. Two lucky guys, those Tom and Nick are. Braun Strowman. Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed and Chad Gable. We got this triple threat match, Money in the Bank qualifier taking place. Strowman comes out. He gets a ring entrance. Bronson Reed comes out. Gable walked out. He's got a microphone in his hand. Do you believe in miracles? Says Chad Gable. Rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated. So last week he was left for dead, but he cannot be killed. Chad Gable lives, he says. Great. He says he's going to face two monsters tonight in an act of bravery. He will win Money in the Bank and then become master of the bank. It's great. Miz at this time got up from commentary because the tag team championship match was about to be made official, and he had to go find R-Truth and basically stop him from making a mistake. He wasn't even ready to compete. He's out there sitting next to Michael Cole in a fucking suit. We got meat madness here. Two meaty men in the ring. Reed and Strowman battled. Triple H loves his meat. Reed knocked Strowman into the ropes. Strowman fell under the rope. Reed, he charged or actually Strowman charged at Reed. Reed ducked, and then Strowman tumbled to the floor. So then Reed pressed and tossed Gable at Strowman at ringside. Strowman didn't catch him. It was more like Bronson Reed was throwing a fucking baseball at Braun Strowman. He didn't catch him. He dropped Gable. So Reed hit a dive through the ropes and knocked both guys over. About 2 minutes in, and we go to a commercial break. Imagine Bronson Reed coming at you with a fucking tope. We go to commercial break. We come back from break. Strowman charged around the ring, knocking Gable down. Then Reed. Gable gave Reed a back suplex into a bridge for a near fall. When he climbed the rope, Strowman knocked him off balance. Strowman power slammed Reed at ringside. All of a sudden, Judgment Day attacked Strowman. He tried to fight them off at first, but Balor clipped his leg from behind, and that was basically it. No DQ here. Triple threat match, no rules. So Reed's in the ring on his back. Gable is looking at this, taking a little bit too much time, but he goes up top, hits the Gable salt, moonsault, or a big moonsault off the top rope. I don't know what he calls it. Gable salt. Landed a picture-perfect moonsault. 1, 2, 3, and Chad Gable wins in about 8 minutes. He advances to the Money in the Bank ladder match. Gable celebrated. He's pointing up to the briefcases that are hanging above. The lights go out. We got all the sound cues and the lights going out and the smoke and the fog. All of a sudden, Gable's in the ring, and Nikki Cross is crawling behind him through the fog. Gable turns around. He sees Nikki Cross, who is depicting the Sister Abigail character, backs him into the corner, and he falls down, quickly gets out of harm's way, and rolls outside the ring. So she then crawls over to the ropes, and she goes and exits commentary side, ringside. She goes underneath the ring, and she pulls out a cardboard box that is taped up in black tape. She hands it to Michael Cole. The arena is filled with darkness. All of a sudden, we see Nikki Cross hand Michael Cole this cardboard box, and there's 2 security guards laid out on the commentary table as if they were dead. So basically, similar scenes to what we saw last week on Monday Night Raw that ended the show. I find this to be quite silly because there were no screams or shrieks. There was no struggle here. All of a sudden, we see 2 security guards laid out on the commentary desk. No mention of such, no noises. They're just laying there like they fell asleep. We didn't hear Michael Cole say anything. There was no struggle to get away. Michael Cole didn't scream. He didn't say anything. He's just sitting there with the fucking dead bodies of security guards laid out on the commentary table. Little ridiculous. Little ridiculous. So he gets this box, and Nikki Cross just saunters away into the night, and she disappears. She walks away. I thought this was great. Playing up the fact, continuation from last week, as Michael Cole's looking at this box, he says this is the damnedest thing that he's ever been a part of. Listen, I don't know where they're going with this at this point. I thought this had to do with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee wasn't there. Apparently, there are rumors going around that Pat McAfee is being targeted by the Wyatt Six. I don't know why. But he wasn't on the show tonight. I thought what was in the box would contain something for Pat McAfee. But it did not. Michael Cole said this is the damnedest thing he'd ever seen. And he gave the tape to the production team to go and play for later in the show. The tape said, "Play me" on it. And he joked around that it's an old VHS tape. You kids might not know what this is. This is ancient. Do they even have a VCR in the production truck? We don't know. Apparently they did. Gable, being that he was stalked by Nikki Cross, and he feared for his life once again for a second week in a row. He's backstage. He knocked on the Alpha Academy's door, and out pops Otis. Gable was happy to see his family. He says he wanted to talk to the whole crew. Otis called out Tozawa and Maxine Dupree. Now, if Otis didn't want anything to do with Gable, he would have closed the door in his face. He opened the door, he called the rest of the family out, and he listened to Gable. Gable says his whole life flashed before his eyes. He says it was scary, but when it happened, all he could see was Otis, Maxine, and Akira Tozawa. He called the Alpha Academy his family. He says he might have stepped over the line once or twice, and he wanted to say he was truly sorry. He said families fight, but they also stick together. Otis says he's sorry what happened to Gable, but he meant every word that he said last week. We're done. He left and went back into the room, and so did Tozawa. Maxine stayed outside with Gable. Maxine told Gable that he really hurt Otis's feelings because Otis looked up to him. You were his big brother. She says that they are glad he's okay, and what happened to him must have been terrifying. She said, Otis just needs time. Let me go talk to him. All of a sudden, the Creed brothers walked up to Gable and asked if he was okay. Gable says, no, I'm not okay. I need help. So, this is the first instance that we're seeing from the Wyatt family integrated into a story that is not specifically theirs, but they're going to have a direct effect on. Now, they want you to think that Gable was scared into being alone. He had no family. He's scared to death. He needs his family back. Are the Wyatts trying to prove to Gable that he is in the wrong and the people that he wronged, he now must make right? Is that the story? Is that what they're going for with the Wyatt family? Or the Wyatt Six? Are they targeting people that have done wrong to others and hoping that these people see the error of their ways? I don't know. So it was interesting to see Gable go apologize to Otis. Otis didn't want anything to do with it. Or was it something that I said earlier? That it's a take on what the House of Black does. Malachi or someone along the House of Black, Julia Hart, spits black mist in someone's face. And then all of a sudden they turn the other way. They become evil. Character change, a little bit of an attitude change. They go into their deeper, darker self. Is that what we're seeing here? The disappointment that the Alpha Academy feels. Now, Otis is sticking to his guns, and Gable's feeling it. He lost everything. The Wyatt family wants him, or the Wyatt Six wants him to feel the loss that they suffered. And now he has to find his own way. And here comes the Creeds. I don't know, man. It's very interesting to see how they're going to weave the Wyatts into a storyline. This is the first storyline that they're being weaved into. We don't know which direction we're going in. But it looks like Gable is going to align with the Creeds because he's got no other fucking choice and he needs help. And the help is not going to come from Otis. He tried to do the right thing, but Otis doesn't want anything to do with him. And now he's got to go and find help on his own. And here comes the Creeds. Here comes Ivy Nile. A new family. Just like Bo had to find a new family. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. But I like the intricacies of what the Wyatt Six are already doing. And this is the first storyline that they're kind of, I would say, having an influence over. So we'll see what happens. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn against Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Absolutely zero heat for this. It went 5 minutes, and I hate saying that because I'm a big fan of Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. But man, oh man, is this women's tag team division completely dead. Dead. Nobody cares. If you care, God bless you. This shit sucks. Isla Dawn and Alba Fire get some TV time. They win in 5 minutes. They win with their double team finish, which is a combination DDT and Gory Bomb. 5 minutes. Retain the tag team titles over Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. Thank you for coming. Damage Control attacked Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Afterwards, Kyrie landed and over, or we're not, no, well, who was it? EO? Did she land the over the moonsault, or did Kyrie land the elbow? I think it was Kyrie landing the elbow. I was a little zoned out here. I think Kyrie landed the elbow. Who cares? Break EO away from damage control, and let's move on with the solo run of EO Sky. Damage control is dead, just like the tag team division. Damian Priest. He walked up to the Judgment Day clubhouse, and all of a sudden, Liv Morgan walked out. What is Liv doing in the clubhouse? He walks into the clubhouse, and Finn Balor was alone. A little Easter egg there, man. A little Easter egg there with Liv and Finn in the clubhouse, all alone. Priest said, well, that looked a little sketchy. Balor told Priest, listen, relax. Liv just told me that she got Dama match with Rey Mysterio next week. Priest was like, oh, is that true? Is that right? And she got him and McDonough a tag team title shot tonight. Balor then tells Damian that Liv seems a little too good to be true. Priest says, that sounds about right. But listen, you got yours. Right? You got your tag team title match. Go win it and go kick ass. Good luck tonight. At least the reg man, a little living Finn Balor action. Telling you. Not looking good for Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest. We got a commercial during Raw airing about the WrestleMania 40 Behind the Curtain documentary. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and The Rock, and how WrestleMania came about this year. We saw the clip of Paul Levesque saying they called an audible after fans reacted the way that they did to Cody Rhodes, and how they pivoted in a way that blurred reality and fiction, and magic was made at WrestleMania 40. The graphic said this will be released on July 3rd, on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern. So it looks like AEW will have a new lead-in for AEW Dynamite on Wednesday. If you don't think that WWE strategically airing this on Wednesday is a coincidence, fuck that shit, man. They did this strategically. They did this on purpose, man. AEW Dynamite at 8 p.m. This shit's going to bleed right into Dynamite, man. They're looking to fucking stick it to Dynamite and AEW any chance that they get. So it looks like Sheldon, being the biggest draw for AEW, man, they got a lot of work cut out for them on Wednesday night. Those Big Bang Theory fellas. Fuck out of here. No, but it's the Big Bang Theory and Kendrick Lamar and the summer weather and the fucking PGA US Open and the Masters tournament or whatever the fuck is airing. College baseball, WNBA. Let's use it all as excuses for the reason why AEW got 502,000 viewers. I will be watching. I've been looking forward to that for a very long time. Can't wait to see what they say there. Damian Priest, he makes his way out to the ring. He's in the ring as the world's heavyweight champion. He says he understands what Seth sees in him, but in Seth he sees the man he does not want to become. He says he doesn't want to be like Seth, standing opposite of his successor who is bigger and better. So as long as he remains the world's heavyweight champion, Seth will never see the mountaintop again. And out comes Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins looking like 101 Dalmatians out there tonight. Seth's out there, the crowd sang along, and they did their thing with Seth Rollins. Music dies down. He told Indianapolis that they're partying today. He talked about the Royal Rumble, which is official, by the way, February 1st, 2025. The Royal Rumble will be in Indianapolis. He says it's still his show, though. Priest smiled. He nodded. Seth said Priest just basically says he's never getting the title back. He says he doesn't believe Priest is that confident. He asked if fans believe this bull crap that's coming out of Priest's mouth. Fans chanted no. Seth says they don't buy him as the man because his actions and words don't line up. He said Priest says all the right things about not wanting people's help, but in both of his title matches, if it weren't for the Judgment Day and Punk, Priest wouldn't be standing here as world champion. Priest says he understands what he's saying, but he didn't ask for anybody's help. Priest said, I am the world champion. As fans chanted, you suck. He says he can't change what happened, but he can address the present. He said Seth represents the past and is holding a whole lot of nothing. Seth then said, for now. Seth said he didn't come out here to run him down because he has a lot of respect for him. He said Priest one-upped him last week by challenging him to a title match at Money in the Bank. Respect. That's a bold move. He says he was there to one-up him. So he suggested that they sweeten the pot at Money in the Bank, and they don't need to involve Adam Pearce. No stipulation or anything, just a simple side bet or a gentleman's agreement. He says if Priest beats him, he'll never challenge for the title again as long as Priest is champion. But if he beats Priest and takes the belt back, they can find out if he really can stand on his own 2 feet because he'll have to leave the Judgment Day. So if he loses, he doesn't get another championship match as long as Damian Priest is the champion. But if he beats Priest, then Priest has to leave Judgment Day. That's the gentleman's agreement. That's the side bet that Seth Rollins is proposing here. So, Priest, looking at Seth as fans are chanting, yes, yes, yes. Priest laughed and says, you know what? I like it. He said, the way that I see it, I'm the champion. So to him, the Judgment Day need him a whole lot more than I need them. Again, that's the second week in a row he said that. It's not going to bode well for Damian Priest. In fact, that will be the demise of Damian Priest, because when they find out that he said that again and he continues to behave and reprimand them the way that he has been over Liv Morgan, they will not listen to him. They will now be siding. They're going to take Liv's side, and Finn is going to take Liv's side because Finn is going to lead Judgment Day. And Damian Priest is going to be shit out of luck because he's going to want something that they're not going to want, and they're not going to listen to Damian Priest because they're going to have the numbers game, and Priest and his one vote is going to be outvoted. Priest is floating up Schitt's Creek. His words will come back to haunt him at Money in the Bank. He dropped the mic, he accepted. Gunther's music played out. He did not come out with the crown. He did not have any gimmicky bullshit that Vince would have aligned him with. Vince would have had him come out there wearing the crown and wearing the cape, and they would have had him as fucking some weird nickname as King something something Gunther. The King General, pal. He's out there. He's not talking in some weird fucking royal regal accent. I am the king of the ring. No, none of this shit. None of this king garbage. He enters the ring, and he looked at both Seth and Priest. He paused. I fully understand that there's a lot on the line here, says Gunther. He wishes them both luck and says he cannot wait to see this match. May the better man win. But don't make a mistake. At SummerSlam, the better man of you two will be the lesser man when he steps in the ring with me. What did I tell you? No matter who the champion is, Gunther is walking out of Cleveland as the world heavyweight champion. That is, unless Chad Gable waits to cash in and becomes the champion at SummerSlam and gets his revenge on beating Gunther, which is still a possibility. But Gunther's going to be your world champion. Before the end of the summer, before we get into the fall, Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, no and no. Gunther is the world's heavyweight champion. We got the VHS played that was handed to Michael Cole, and this was fucking great. It's got this old VHS look. They showed the contents of the tape. It showed Uncle Howdy speaking with this distorted voice in the mask. And they were seated. It was him and Bo. You didn't see Bo. You saw the back of Bo, but you saw Uncle Howdy speaking to somebody, and it was Bo. And in the Firefly Funhouse setting, it was all darkened, but you saw the funhouse door. Uncle Howdy was speaking in this distortion effect. How have you been since the loss? Do you feel as though you have been forgotten about? Do you remember who you are? Uncle Howdy's asking these questions as if he's a therapist. The camera looked over at Bo Dallas as he's explaining that he feels like a nobody. Uncle Howdy asked how he felt when his brother Bray died. Bo said the most important thing in his life was taken away from him, and it felt like nothing was ever going to matter again. Howdy then asked if he feels like he's exploiting his brother's legacy by sitting here, donning the mask, assembling the Wyatt Six. Bo said all he ever wanted in his life was to be like his brother. He looked up to him. He wanted to be him. He says he worked his entire career so he could work next to him. He says they were going to rule together and they finally made it. And they had it. But then it was taken away from him. He said there is no person on earth who feels the loss he feels of Bray Wyatt. He asked what he's supposed to do with that. He talked about what Bray stood for and what Bray believed in. He said they wanted to forget, but we made them remember. Uncle Howdy smiled and then looked at Bo and said, "Yes, we did." This was a tremendous segment. I don't have the entire thing transcribed. If I could look on Twitter to see if I have any exact quotes here. I want to see if any of the sites actually transcribe this a little bit better. He did say we were going to rule together and we finally made it. We were there. We had it. Then it was taken away from me. There is no one on this earth that feels what I feel from his loss. The most important thing in my life was taken away from me. Like nothing ever was going to matter again. How did it feel when your brother died? Like the most important thing in my life was taken away from me. This was all tremendous stuff. And like I said, they needed to humanize Bo. And they need to humanize. They need to do this with all of the characters, not just Bo. Like, this is Bo's explanation. This is Taylor's explanation as to why he is doing what he's doing now. Why he's back, what it meant to him, what it meant to stand next to Bray, how it felt having that taken away from him, how did it feel when he died? The question of, do you feel like you're exploiting your brother's legacy? That's a powerful fucking question, man. That's only something that Bo's going to be able to answer. Honestly, Bo is the only person that should be answering that question. Because there are a couple of bad seeds out there that feel like WWE is going to be exploiting Bray Wyatt's legacy. I don't really feel that way at all. I don't think they're going to dishonor his legacy. Bo's not going to allow that to happen. Triple H is never going to allow that to happen. But coming out of last week, this was a home run. Everything that was said here needed to be said in regards to Bo Dallas. I want to see the rest. I want to see what Dexter Lumis has to say. Why is he aligned here? Why is he with the Wyatt Six? What is his reasons for turning to the dark side? Same thing with Joe Gacy. He comes from NXT. He led his own group. He led Schism, which was basically a Wyatt knockoff. Why is he here? What is Eric Rowan doing back? And what does Bray's legacy mean to him being here? Holding a bludgeon hammer where he teamed with Brody. How does he feel honoring both Bray and Brody being back in the WWE? We've seen Nikki for months staring into the distance, stoically. Nobody knew what she was doing. It all led to this. Why is she here? I can't wait to see what they uncover about all the characters, to give you a glimpse into who they are, what they're doing, why they're here, and what they want to do. This was perfect. There needs to be a difference between the characters and the people. At some point, you're going to have to do the vignettes the way that you see them, but also get them in the ring, and eventually they're going to need to wrestle. But man, oh man, was this a perfect fucking 2-week stretch. Monday, we got the fucking backstage murder of all the production staff and the introduction of the group. Friday, they acknowledged it. That's not going to happen on my watch, says Nick Aldis. Now they're here on Monday, and we got this fucking VHS tape with Uncle Howdy sitting in a therapy session with human Bo Dallas. Great. Absolutely fantastic. Kofi Kingston. He went one-on-one with Karrion Kross. I mean, at this point in the show, I was really over Monday Night Raw. I mean, I just don't care. It felt unimportant. It came off as unimportant. And I didn't really care about this. Very short. Kingston fought. And he tried to survive against Karrion Kross. All of a sudden, Paul Ellering distracted Kofi Kingston with a backstage attack. They showed the big screen. The Authors of Pain were attacking Woods, Xavier Woods in the back. This gave Kross enough time to hit the final prayer for the 1, 2, 3. I don't know where this is going, but apparently this was an important match for Kofi Kingston. And apparently Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are growing apart, and the distance between them is showing. I guess the Final Testament wants to add one of them to the group. They want to add Xavier to the group. I don't think that's going to happen, but we'll see what happens. Main event. Tag team titles on the line. The Miz and R-Truth defend against Finn Balor and JD Spicy McChicken. I couldn't wait for R-Truth and The Miz to lose these tag team championships, and I have absolutely no problem with the outcome of this match because, God, were they awful tag team champions. So we go into a commercial break right at the top. Liv is out there. She comes scantily to the ring. Truth, after a commercial break, leapt to make a hot tag. Miz comes in. McDonough also tagged in. McDonough tripped on the bottom rope when he came charging in. Miz kicked away at JD McFish. Miz landed a clothesline in the corner, avoided a charging Balor. He yanked Balor off the ring apron. He then went right back after JD McChicken. Carlito and Dominic walked out to ringside. Liv started smiling and waving at Judgment Day and Dominic Mysterio. Miz then springboard in with a crossbody on JD McChicken. He goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. Miz landed a skull-crushing finale, but Carlito put JD McNugget and his leg on the bottom rope. Referee did not see it, so Miz goes out, pulls Carlito by the hair. JD Spicy McFish headbutted Miz. Both were down, slow to get up. All of a sudden, Braun Strowman's music played. He ran to the ring. He chased Dominic and Carlito through the crowd. Miz and JD McFlurry They were down. Liv looks on. Miz crawled over and leapt to tag in R-Truth. Balor also tagged in at the same time. So R-Truth rallied, comes in with his John Cena-like offense. Truth applied an STF, and JD McRib broke it up. Truth gave McBiscuit, I'm trying to think of McDonald's fucking item menus here. Truth gave McBiscuit a back suplex. Balor rolls up Truth for a 2 count from behind because he was the legal man. Truth slammed Balor next to McDonough. He played up to the crowd. He then delivered stereo, I guess a 10-knuckle shuffle, they called it. Stereo 5-knuckle shuffles. Liv stood on the apron and starts yelling at R-Truth. I think he likes me. I think he's falling for me, meaning Dominic Mysterio, thanks to R-Truth's help. So she then smiles, and all of a sudden the smile turns to a nasty snarl, and she chokes out R-Truth on the top rope. Balor lands a missile drop kick. He hits the corner, does R-Truth. He's laying on his back. Balor goes up top for the coup de grace. 1, 2, 3. And the Judgment Day wins the WWE Tag Team titles once again. And that's the way Monday Night Raw goes off the year. Balor, McFish, and Liv Morgan at the top of the ramp. They're all there. Unbelievable. Are we looking at a new Judgment Day with Liv Morgan? I don't know, man. We'll see what happens, but I think Liv and Finn, I think with what Liv has done here, she has basically secured her spot and secured the Judgment Day's trust. I think Liv has finally taken everything that she needs from Rhea Ripley. She's now earned their trust. She got them McNuggets. She got them a PlayStation. She got fucking Dominic with sexy pictures on his phone. And now she got them the tag team titles. All while Damian Priest is saying, I don't need the Judgment Day. They need me. 2 weeks in a row. Oh, yeah? Clearly they don't need you. They got Liv Morgan now. And Liv Morgan is doing more for them than Damian Priest is. This was a good episode of Raw. Not better than last week. Last week was just tremendous. Last week was fucking unbelievable. But Monday Night Raw, they forwarded some stories. We got new tag team champions. We got a great Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas sit down. Can't ask for anything more, man. Some really good stuff here, and I'm loving the stories right now that WWE is telling. I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. Thank you guys for a great Monday Night Raw stream. I appreciate you guys very much for all your support. Thank you for being here. We had upwards towards 3,400 in here tonight on the Monday Night Raw post. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. Plenty of it. Solid Monster and I have a lot to talk about tomorrow, man. Tuesday Night Titans, episode 54 tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the channel. So make sure you guys are seated with your cold drinks, and we will get into the best pro wrestling talk in this IWC. And super chats are open. Get them on in, guys. We're going to hang out in just a second. Tonight's show was sponsored by Magic Mind. How do I stay awake and focus during these shows, man? Magic Mind. It is very simple. Very simple. You want to see how simple it is, man? This is my normal, everyday morning routine. Morning and night. Morning, first thing I wake up. Magic Mind. Every time I sit down to watch Raw, Dynamite, SmackDown, Magic Mind, you take your favorite sparkling beverage, in my case, or your favorite water, take this bottle, pour over some ice, right into your favorite sparkling water. You guys know what mine is. Give it a little shake, and we are good to go, man, and it's that simple. Magic Mind. You guys want a testimony about Magic Mind? Listen to this. I'm a content creator, obviously. Our hours and our schedule are all over the place. I do most of my work at night and I sleep during the day. I don't like it. It's a vicious cycle. I feel worse during the day when I wake up and the first thing I do is I saunter down to the living room and I have the pot of coffee going and I'm sitting there eating breakfast. I get out of bed and I automatically feel tired, man. The first thing that I ingest every day is caffeine, a coffee. And I love coffee. I stopped doing that because I felt when I was doing that, first thing I do is intake caffeine, I would feel worse during the day, meaning 2 o'clock, 2:30 rolls around, I'm saying to myself, man, oh man, do I need a nap? I just want to lie on the couch in the air conditioner under a blanket and just fall asleep for a few hours. It's a vicious cycle. I was doing that and I felt terrible and I said, I need to fix this. So I changed it up. First thing I do in the morning is I have myself a whole 16 ounce of Magic Mind over my favorite sparkling water. I have my Magic Mind. I have my breakfast. I wait, and then I have my caffeine. Do you know how many times I've taken a nap during the weeks I've been doing this? 0. No more midday naps. No more crashing. I stay focused. I get more work done during the day. I even use it before I go to the gym, too. I'll have my protein shake and I'll have my Magic Mind. Give me a little bit more focus on what I need to do. It's great. If you guys want a little bit more, man, energy. They got B2, B3, and B12 vitamins. No stress or less stress. Turmeric, vitamin C, and vitamin D3. And for cognition, they got that lion's mane mushroom in there as well. If you guys want to try Magic Mind for yourself, you guys can get a limited offer right now. Save up to 48% off your first subscription or 20% off a one-time purchase with code JD from NY20 at checkout. Just use our link, magicmind.com/JD from NY. I believe in it, bro. And you guys will too, believe me. Let's get to these super chats. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. Good Monday, JD and OTS family. Hope all is well, my friends. Thank you, Michael. Michelle Moran with a $2 super chat. Bank on it. Punk will screw Punk. Punk will screw Drew at Money in the Bank. Love it. Michael Bertoni with a $5 super chat. I have a feeling when Rhea returns, we might see a bloody Liv Morgan. Also, I really hope Black Ops 6 doesn't have Tac Sprint. Tactical Sprint is the worst addition that they've added to Call of Duty ever. Gold Standard with a $5 super chat. WWE is so much better than all empty seat wrestling. No ratings. AEW is in trouble, man. They need to fix what they need to fix ASAP. Stu the Beats with a $10 super chat. Raw was pretty good tonight. Finally, we see Chad and the Creeds together. Loved the Bo Dallas tape. Now we need him in the ring next week. Also, can't wait for a kick-ass TNT tomorrow. OTS for life. Thank you, Stu the Beats. Tony Brown with a $4.99. I'm so glad Miz and True dropped those belts. That gimmick sucked. Yeah, they were awful. It was a great moment. The moment fizzled. Weeks after WrestleMania. I'm done. Tribal Chief with a $2 super chat. Raw was good. Wyatt 6 is badass. R.I.P. Bray. OTS, pal. Thank you, Tribal Chief. Brian Rottersheimer with a $5 super chat. I think the new bloodline will turn on Solo and Jacob Fatu. They will join Roman, and it will be the Anoa'i family versus the Tonga family Yes, but who's going to lead the Tongans? Keep in mind that WWE just trademarked Caesar Sikoa. We all know what happened to Julius Caesar. Jacob Fatu may not be able to contain himself, man. He might not be somebody that is someone who will take lead from somebody else or take orders from somebody else. He may stab Solo in the back, and Solo will have to come crawling back to Roman, and then we get the OG bloodline. That's the way I see it playing out. That whole Caesar Sikoa thing that they trademarked, we're going to see it soon. Normally when we see it and we get news of it, it happens very relatively soon after that. Jacob Fatu may turn his back on Solo Sikoa, for all we know. Take the lead for the new bloodline. And then we get Hikuleo joining. And then we get Hikuleo, Tama Tonga, Tangaloa, and Jacob Fatu against Roman, Solo, who's got to beg for forgiveness, Jimmy and Jay. And we get the OG bloodline versus the new bloodline at War Games. Could be. Then we get Roman versus Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania, and then Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania 42. Rock said it. This is going to be a long game. Realist in the room. How you doing with a 199? Looks like Jimmy is teaming with Cody. Why would Jimmy team with Cody? Dom Wappa with the 12 months. What a year it has been. Love that Uncle Howdy sit down, and Braun Breaker is quickly becoming a favorite of mine. Dude is a fucking beast. Yes, he is. Thank you for 12 months, Dom Wappa. John Lamey with the 23 months. I'm a month away till I get my golden microphone. OTS for life. John, I see you, brother. Thank you. Chris with a 23 months. What's up, JD? 23 months in this fine establishment. Love the grind you've been on the channel. Been a subscriber since 2017 and OTS OG. Cheers. Thank you, Chris. Vinny with a 199. Triple H is the GOAT, man. Everything matters. Long-term booking, Vinny. That other place could use it. That other place is allergic to it. Triple M with a $5 super chat. Good Raw tonight. Got a lot done on Destiny today, including a scuff run of GM Excision, but got through it. Also, we love Doc. Yes, we love Doc. I did a, believe it or not, I tried a LFG run of Excision, and we got to second phase Witness, and we all died. Never again. What a fucking nightmare. The mission is fine on regular difficulty. The fact that they have you spawn in and you're already dead, man, and then they give you 4 fucking tokens? Fuck out of here. 4 revive tokens. I spawn in, I'm being shot by fucking overload champions across the fucking map. Athun with a $10 super chat. Bo's segment hit very close to home. I lost my brother last year, and Bo's pain felt more real to me than any promo I've ever seen. My heart goes out to him and anyone in the chat who's lost someone. Nobody was going to relay that pain more than Bo, bro. That's why he was the right guy for the job. You can farm the right side in the second part for revives. That's what we tried to do, man. At one point, we had 12 revives. And then everybody fucking died. Phil with a $9.99. I love the VHS tape. Simply because it showed a split personality between Bo and Uncle Howdy. It humanized Bo. I love that. The answer to my question, why, was answered. Amazing work by Bo. The Joker's voice with a $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. 2 years ago, Liv and Fid stood against Judgment Day. Are they the real power couple behind all the chaos and will be the new leaders of Judgment Day? Hail OTS. Simply the best, no question. I think so, man. The Dark Paragon with a $2 super chat. Lyra Who? Yuri Lover with a $10 super chat. What's up, JD? I'm battling a bitch of allergies for almost a week. I need you and the entire OTS family to send your thoughts and prayers for my friend Justine in Issa's chat. She's battling cancer. Everybody in the OTS chat, prayer emojis for Justine and Issa. And anybody in Issa's circle of demonites. Dom Wapo with a $4.99. Dragunov, McIntyre, Sheamus next week. Money in the Bank qualifier is going to be a fucking banger. I can't wait for that match. Should be good. Mohammed with a 5. WWE somehow made another PLE a little unpredictable. Yeah. Can't wait for Money in the Bank, man. I'm very excited. Jedi Joker 93 with 36 months. Not going into detail, but I know you were a fan of his. What are your thoughts on Doc stepping away today? It's a fucked up situation, and it's sad to see. I think it's complete bullshit, honestly. I feel like it's a calculated attack. I feel like, if anything, Twitch should be investigated as well, because if Doc had his messages read privately and they knew of something that was going on and they withheld it for 4 years, opted to pay him out, and they were concealing that type of behavior with a minor involved, then they're just as guilty. Honestly, it's coming from 3 ex-disgruntled Twitch employees, from what I understand. People that didn't like Doc, and one of them was using his name and using his termination as a way to sell tickets to his fucking rock concerts. Because he was a musician in California. Come out and buy tickets, and maybe I'll tell you why he got fired. Really now. It's great. You know, when you're at the top, you got several people gunning for your demise, honestly. It's a sad state of affairs. There's physically zero proof. There's zero evidence. And when there is evidence, then you can make a determination. His fucking studio fired him today. I'm sure Mountain Dew's gonna drop him. I'm sure Turtle Beach is gonna drop him. It's all bullshit. I feel sorry for the guy. I really do. There's literally zero evidence of this. When there is evidence, then we make a determination. But right now, everybody's like, oh, he's that. No, he's not. How the fuck do you know? Doc meaning Dr. Disrespect, people. All you need to do is do a simple Google search and you'll figure out why he's in the top of the gaming news in everything you read. KT with a $4.99. Girlfriend broke up with me. Car accident all last week. Thanks for the good show, JD. I needed it. KT, I'm sorry, brother. It's a string of bad situations there. I wish you the best. Yellow Cavity with a $1.99. No message. And then he says, Liv is costing Seth. Full circle with the 3 women. No, I don't think Liv is costing Seth. Prince Petey with the $2 super chat. Can't nobody say JD Mick like JD. Yeah. M. James with a $10 super chat. Every wrestling fan has moments where they stop watching for a bit. For me, it was around 2008 to 2010, then missed all of 2014. I was wondering if you're at a point where you stopped watching. Yes, I did. I stopped when John Cena was at the height of his run, and they started to jam John Cena down our throats. I don't know. Coming out of the Hulk Hogan era, dude, I couldn't handle another babyface that they jammed down your throat every fucking year. Couldn't do it. Jason Lashley. $25 super chat. JD, your pal, Fake Mega Man. What's up, brother? Hope you are well. Your boy just hit the parlay. Wanted to share the wealth. Bless the Giants. I'll be at Money in the Bank. Can't wait. Where they're going fatal four-way before Kaiser's... Were they going fatal four-way before Kaiser's injury? Protect Braun. Keep Sammy as champ. It could be. I thought maybe we were going fatal four-way. Braun... I do think gets protected. Maybe they add Sheamus to the match. I don't know. We will. We still got another Monday Night Raw to go. I don't know. But if Braun is the champion at the end of Money in the Bank, listen, man, I'm not going to say nothing. I'm not going to complain. And my guy John Wick of Spider Hunters, Nate TV, with 23 months. The Doc situation is just odd. I can name 10 times someone on Twitch should have been banned permanently, and it was only 72 hours. There's no proof. Yeah, well, there's no proof here. Yet everybody's already made a determination that he is the P word. But that's how cancel culture works nowadays, man. You don't need any evidence. All you need is the social media lawyers out there, man, and the social media fucking court system to label you finished, and you're done. It's a sick, sick fucking world, man. I've been through it. I know how it feels. I'm still here. I didn't do anything like that, but... or get accused for something like that. All I do is talk pro wrestling. Whatever, man. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Thank you guys for a great stream, man. I appreciate you all hanging out with me. Hopefully you guys buy some t-shirts, man. We got some great looking t-shirts. What the fuck are you guys drinking, man? Now available on bonfire.com. Go and get yours today. Honestly, I would love if you do. Go and get yours today, bonfire.com, the official storefront of Off the Script. Make sure you guys follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. There is plenty of it. Jason and I will be live tomorrow with TNT episode 54. Lots to talk about. Thank you to Magic Mind tonight for sponsoring the show. MagicMind.com/JD from NY. Use that promo code JD from NY20 to save 48% off your first subscription or 20% off your first purchase. So go and get yours today, man. I love me some Magic Mind. And make sure you guys check out the socials at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Thank you guys for a great stream. Shout out to Mr. Dr. Disrespect. Hopefully everything ends up going the right way for him. We love him. Thank you guys very much for all your support. I will see you back tomorrow night right here on TNT with the Salamonster for Tuesday Night Titans episode 54. Until then, guys, take care.